Welcome to the Real Study with your hosts, MrSniDBitS,
Because I do think the movie is good. I think the lighting is struggled. I think the cinematography is okay.
BlackGirlMarvel,
Follow us on everything, because we will find you.
all the movie things.
So many young filmmakers and indie filmmakers took it and just went with it, and it became this thing.
Janine DeBean.
So that's what the story is, and then the film goes about answering that question for you.
And me, the Real Study movie voice guy.
I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try it.
Produced by Hyena. Let's go to the poster wall.
Hello and welcome to the fourth week of Horror Month here at The Real Study. We are going to be carrying on with some quiet horror films, if you will. We've got BlackGirlMarvel and Janine DeBean tonight with me here. No Brian this evening. We do miss him, but he'll be back for our super gory, over-the-top next week episode where we'll be doing weapons and then Bring Her Back, which I am not thrilled about, but I'm going to do it anyway, so hopefully you guys will too. Let's move over to the main wall and we'll hear from Law about social media, and then we'll get into it.
Welcome one and all. Welcome to the Real Study. As always, we would love it if you would just join us on all our social medias. That's separate and together. Join us on the Real Study on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. We do some fun things, as a group. We're expanding more into some fun things. If you cannot watch us live, which that's fine. You can watch us in playback. You can join us on all podcast platforms. Your Apples, your Spotify, your Googles, your Anchors, all of that, so you can listen to us while you're on your way to work or doing some errands, because we don't want you to watch us while you're in the car, safety first, but we would love for you to still join us on a podcast platform. Give us 5 stars, comment, or, whatever stars you think we deserve, but biased, I think 5 is adequate,
5.5 even, really.
Quite adequate,
Right.
Make sure you comment on YouTube as well as all of our social media. Help the algorithm pushes up to more people. Make sure you share us as well. And if you want to become a real student, join us on Discord. You can put in your thoughts about what you think we should review, whether that's a movie or a very short TV show. I'm gonna say maybe 13 episodes at the maximum, because TV is a lot. And I think 13 is a solid number that we can all possibly get through, in a decent enough time to review on another possible time, possible Sunday or something like that. We are kind of branching into documentaries a little bit. So if you got a documentary you want us to check out that you think we would like, that will be good as well. We also have our own social medias as well. You can see that on our platform, pardon me. But just make sure you follow us on all social media. You see our name up here: BlackGirlMarvel, MrSniDBitS, Janine DeBean.
Can't even do it right.
You went that way. MrSniDBitS. These are our personal social media handles, as well as all the movie things. Make sure you follow us on all social media so you don't miss out on anything that we do together and or separately. Back to you, MrSniDBitS. Oh, he's leaving.
Nope, you gotta keep going. I'll be right back.
I got it. Don't you worry. Janine, I'm gonna talk to Janine DeBean.
What's up?
Today, Janine?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, La?
If we had more of a weekend, I would be even better. But seeing as I gotta go back to work tomorrow, it's I don't wanna. Oh no, everybody's leaving me now. Oh, she's like, okay.
I was like, oh no, I'm frozen. You're just there alone.
She went offline and then came back. I was like, I'm by myself now.
What am I gonna do?
No, it's not good. It's just I don't want to go to work. I would rather be streaming or making videos or something.
Yeah.
But I gotta make money somehow.
Yeah, the things we have to do to survive.
I know, right? I mean, I always say this to people. I'll be like, this is the world y'all created? You could have built any world.
Right?
Any world, right?
It didn't have to be like this.
It didn't have to be like this.
This could have been like a nice utopia where we're just chilling all day.
Beautiful. People could be living on the land.
Right?
It could be a mix of everything. Living on the land, living in the business.
Yeah.
We living living in a home, stuff like that. You decide to box us in smaller places every time.
It could have been like Starfleet, like Star Trek. They don't have currency. Like everyone's just living life, exploring the galaxy.
You can barter. You need some bread. There's always going to be people who know how to make bread. You know what I mean? let's learn a trade. Let's learn how to like help each other. But no, y'all want to be in this commerce world.
Yeah.
Where I gotta work 8 hours a day, which you taught us how to do that through school, indoctrinated us through school. Just go to this place
Yes.
for 8 hours and work.
Yes.
But no, what did you think? Like overall
Goodness.
thoughts. You don't have to like give any like snidbits, as I like to say. But overall thoughts of these two films in particular.
I mean, these are solid films, and I'm led to believe Snitty does not like one of them. So I'm really curious to
Really?
hear why.
Which one?
Hush.
I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, did you generally enjoy these films?
I generally enjoyed them. I didn't have a problem. I will say when we'll get into Don't Breathe, I kind of wanted everybody to die, but if I'm being so cold to say, if I'm being honest, I think the only person I probably wouldn't have wanted to die is Dylan Minette's character.
Yeah,
because he seemed to be like one of the only ones that was like
and he was simping. He was simping hard.
Right,
That's
and
that was motivating his decision.
You know, but maybe you should die for that because maybe that will lead you some other things. I don't know. Like,
right? Yeah.
Maybe you should die for that. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, I've heard him mention about not really liking Hush, and so but I never got the reasons why.
Why? Oh, we gonna get that
so
tonight.
that's why I chose these because I was like, what?
We gonna get that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really wrecking my brain. Like I'm going through the movie a little bit right now in my head, and I really want to know like what.
How did this not work for you? Like it's so different from, a genre that like has tropes, that has things that you see in every iteration of them. This one is trying to do something different. So what about that did not hit
like
for
land
you?
for you, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I was thinking about it like during the film. I was like, I felt like she reacted in a way that I think people would react. Like people would the things she tried. I felt like I would try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she didn't do, and she was kind of like slowly getting smarter about it because nobody's been attacked in their home. Like I'm just saying, like just like you're not attacked until you're attacked.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
So
like,
you don't know what you would do.
You don't know what you'll do, and I felt like every couple of steps she got a little smarter.
Yeah. You start to kind of course correct and assimilate to the situation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, MrSniDBitS back. Hello. Oh, the other one. That's the real one. That's the real one in his ear. There it is.
Yeah.
Not yet.
There it is.
I don't hear you guys.
We hear
you. Yes, we can hear you.
Wait.
Hello?
Maybe now.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Nope. Something happened.
All right.
Oh, wait, there we go. Hello.
Hi.
Sorry about that. I had an emergency.
That's fine.
And I could not stop.
It's life.
I guess I still can't hear you.
He lied. You can't hear it.
Oh, no.
Listen, I want to be on a podcast with a host that tells
Just go about talking about the movies you guys watched this week, if you haven't already.
Okay, well, we'll start with Janine. Janine,
yes.
what did you watch this week?
I saw Good Boy.
Okay.
Yes, I know Snitty talked about that a few weeks ago, but very much like the films we're going to be talking about tonight, Good Boy definitely had, I like a film that has like problems to solve. You have this premise and it's very different from anything else. So you really kind of have to figure out how you're going to go about making this. It reminded me a lot of In a Violent Nature, kind of putting your viewer into the POV of another character in the horror film. So I loved In a Violent Nature for the aspect of just that creativity of putting us in the killer's POV. Like, the long walk he has to make around this lake to get his axe. We're walking along with him on this slow ass walk. Okay. We're getting story elements when he is near the characters that you would typically follow. And that's how we kind of learn who these people are from the POV of the killer. So very much like Good Boy, that's how we're kind of getting our story from the dog's perspective and like what he's privy to, what he's in the room for, and what he's watching his master do, and all of those kinds of things. So I loved all the problem solving going into crafting a story like this. You know, really creative things done with camera angles and lighting and sound design. I thought that was really well done. You know, I saw a lot of people talking about how, you know, they got kind of bored at points and were checking their watches. But for me, right when I was kind of maybe getting to that point where maybe nothing was happening, and I felt myself like about to like, you know, look at my phone, something would happen. So I found it to be really interestingly paced. I didn't find it to be too many long moments where nothing was happening, especially because, you know, not working with a lot of dialogue. I liked kind of keeping the owner kind of in shadow and seeing him through reflections of things, or, you know, how they illustrated what was happening to him, because it really keeps us in the POV that the film is really highlighting. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was such a fun premise. I thought it was such a cool way to change up, you know, a very familiar genre with very familiar elements. And Indy's just so cute. So
Indy is so cute. You are totally right. So I'm
and
glad.
he looks
I'm glad that
genuinely
you liked.
scared. Yes, like
Yeah, he did. And
Okay.
the behind the scenes on how they got the dog to be scared is pretty cool. So you should check that out. But I wanted to hear what you had thought, because when I saw it, I thought all the same things. The lighting is so incredible in this film. The blocking is so incredible, and it's like really carefully thought out from that dog's perspective, and that alone is worth watching the movie for, I think. I think once it's been out a while, I want to rediscuss it, because I want to tell you, you know, I think I'll just text you what movie it reminds me of, and then you can just tell me you agree or not. Lala, you talk about Dr. Doodle yet, or have you?
No.
Okay.
I have not. No.
Tell us about Dr. Doolittle. Was this your first time seeing this? Okay. I was like, wait a minute. It's a 90s Murphy movie? Come on, I know.
I know, right? All over that joint. You know what I mean?
Right?
No, I am slowly but surely revisiting old movies from like my childhood, just kind of like going back and watching them with a older perspective now, just to see if like it's still funny, or maybe to see like did I miss something, because that's always fun when you kind of go back and,
you get a joke that you didn't get back then.
Exactly.
Or you go, how did I miss that?
No, for sure. And so but it also made me think about Eddie Murphy, because his like documentary thingy, like his like is coming out on Netflix. Which I'm happy that we're getting this while he's alive and he can tell his story, as opposed to it being like a after fact and having to get like all his like family and friends to get together. Like,
well, Netflix is actually doing a weird thing like that. They're like interviewing a bunch of people who are really old, and then they're putting out their thing, like they did that with Jane Goodall when after.
Right, and I'm happy that they're, you know, I want them to start doing stuff like that. I want them to start doing stuff like that before people pass away. Yeah, because like it's way better when you get it like literally from the horse's mouth, like, you know what I mean? And so like I'm really excited for that. But I was watching Dr. Dolittle and I was like, Eddie Murphy has really been like a family man filmmaker
for a while,
for a long time. Like I don't think
you got like what 15 kids, crazy.
No, absolutely. And I think his youngest is still like a little bitty girl, like a little like, you know, she might be like 4, like 5 or 6 or something like that. Like she's very like young. But I was watching Dr. Dolittle and I was like, he goes back and forth from being like, I'm gonna give you some family movies to like maybe like like an I Spy, where it's like might be for a little more of an older crowd. And like I kind of appreciate that about him, that his comedy can kind of span like ages like that. We can have fun with that. But rewatching Dr. Dolittle, I was cracking up the entire time. Okay, I was cracking up. It was funny. I forgot how.
I haven't watched him forever.
What?
I've never seen it.
You've never
when
seen
Eddie
Dr.
Murphy
Dolittle?
turned the corner. Okay, like look, Raw was my favorite stand-up as a teenager. Like until I found George Carlin, Eddie Murphy was my guy. Like. So
when he became the Family Guy, you were kind of
the Family Guy. I was done. I was like, nope.
Okay, Aina, do me a solid. Dr. Dolittle 1 and 2. Put that on the list. We
what
are
about
watching
Dr. Dolittle and Dr. Dolittle?
No. We could do something different.
Robert Downey.
because I don't know. I kind of want to watch that one. I heard it's trash. I heard it's terrible.
Yes, I heard it's really
I
bad.
heard it's
Yeah,
terrible.
no.
Well, we got.
I mean, it is fun to talk bad movies, but I don't know.
Well, I was thinking we could do an Armageddon Deep Impact since we've been getting so close to the mark on all of our movies. We could do those, and then we could talk about Ben Affleck's commentary on Armageddon, which is legendary. So,
well, okay. Well, I guess we can do the Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. just to have those side by side.
Figure it out.
Because his essentially is like a reboot, like a
Yeah.
you know, it's not a continuation or anything like that. But I watched this movie. I thought it was funny. It's so many like celebrity voice actors throughout this whole thing where I'm listening to them, but it's also like a lot of celebrities that's in the film. You know, like Oliver Platt is in it. Ossie Davis is in it. You know,
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle is in it. Yes, it's like it's so many people. Chris Rock voices somebody. Ellen DeGeneres voices someone. It's so many like actors and comedians in this film that I was just kind of like, wow. But it's a beautiful story. It's just a fun watch. I think Dr. Dolittle is just like, I think it still holds up for being a film that came out in 1998. You know what I mean? Like, because they have some animals are animatronic. They're like all of the animals. John Leguizamo is in it. It's all like live animals, but then they have some that are animatronic, and Jim Henson's company like was over that. So like that was nice to see. It just felt good to watch a film that was like you knew it was animatronic, but it was like, thank you for being animatronic. Like, thank you for that, because like these are supposed to be like animals that are like autonomous, and they kind of like can talk, and they kind of move, and they look, and they do these things. So like it was just nice kind of like seeing that, and just seeing how far away from that we've kind of gotten, which is kind of sad. I mean, some films have kind of brought it back and been able to, you know, split it between the CGI and you know, the
kind of combine
them together, which is very cool. But at the heart of it, it's just a great little story about like, I really look at it like a guy who like had a talent that got suppressed by family that didn't understand them, which is like, I feel like something that a lot of people can relate to, because his dad was like, you got to stop doing this, and in doing that, he lost his gift of talking to animals, and then it just popped back up in his life at a certain time. And it was just great seeing it, like how that like trickles through the generations, because he ended up having a daughter played by Kyla Pratt, who is essentially who he was when he was younger. And it's like he was suppressing her, and it's a scene where it kind of like broke my heart, because I've said this, I think about I've actually said this about my mom before when I was younger, and I was like, I don't think she literally says that she knows that her dad loves her. She doesn't think that he likes her.
Wow. Which is a difference.
It's a total difference. And she's saying this to her grandfather, and he's like, well, no, he loves you. She was like, no, I know that he loves me. I just don't think he likes me. Like, he just, like, I think he thinks I'm weird. And you know what? I'll just do things the way he wants it done, just so he doesn't think I'm weird. And it was like, the grandfather was
he
like,
wouldn't take the time to understand me.
Exactly. And the grandfather was like, no, you don't. He was like, sometimes it's the father that needs to change. You know, and he said that, and he looked at his son, because he gave that to his son. He suppressed his own son, didn't understand him, didn't want to
take the time to.
Exactly. And so like, it's, I don't know, it's like it's a comedy, but like just with my like 2025 brain, I'm just like, it's a little deeper now as an adult, like, you know, having had parents and seen the things. And I'm like, because when she said it, I was like, yo, I've said that about my mom, like, you know, having like been at odds with my mom before. It was like, I know she loves me, I just don't think she likes me, like, I just don't. And so when she said that, I was like, ew, my god. I was like, ew, it's too close to home to me. But I thought it was great, and I want everybody to see it. Which, MrSniDBitS, you will be seeing this film, okay, sir?
I will be seeing this movie.
I mean, you're a parent now, so it's a different time.
No, it's a different time.
And I'm way more into family stuff.
No, absolutely.
My favorite movie that I saw in 2025 so far, well, if I were to do a top 10, nobody would guess one of those on the top 10, and it was 13 Going on 30. Like, I adore that movie. Like, I didn't expect to. I avoided it because I was just like, what is this ridiculous? Like, I could never. No, it is so damn good. It is so uplifting. It was everything I needed when I saw it. Like, it was like a warm blanket.
Like last night I was hanging out with my nephew, and we were watching Rookie of the Year. I'm like, I haven't watched this movie.
My God, I haven't seen it in so long.
I just watched In and Out, the Kevin Kline movie again.
Yes. Mhm.
I love good feel good comedies, and that's what Doctor Dolittle sounds like. It sounds
Yeah,
like
it
just a
is.
feel good comedy.
It really
I haven't
is
seen
with
it in
some
a long
with
time.
some really like it's some really 90s choice words, like
Sure.
Oh yeah.
like, that are like that probably wouldn't fly now, which is kind of sad because
Yeah.
it was like the way that it's used, it was like funny, kind of like type of thing. Like I started the second one before I got on the podcast. I was starting the second one and watching it, and he gives his daughter a chameleon. And he could talk to the animals, and so she's like, "Oh my God, he's so cute." And he's like, "I'm about to disappear. I'm about to disappear like a baby's daddy." And I bust out laughing
Who is
because
the chameleon?
I never remembered that as a kid. I was
Who was
like a
voicing
baby.
him?
I think what's his name? I think the guy from Ant-Man. I think that's him. I think it's him. The guy uh who plays like Scott's like friend from prison. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Das Malchin, or is it? No, he would have been way too
No,
young.
yeah,
the main one that tells the stories. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Michael Pena?
Yeah,
yeah.
Michael Pena. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. He was around back then. He's been around a while.
Oh yeah.
He's been in it.
No, I take it back. It's somebody named Jacob Vargas. So I take it back.
Okay.
Either way,
he reminded Lala of Michael Pena.
He did though. He absolutely did. Oh, because he's the dude from Friday, like next Friday, who was just like no more locked doors.
Okay,
It's
I
him.
got it.
It's him who voiced, so like, yeah, I just put them two together, I guess. But yeah, that's the guy who voiced them.
We do that. There's so many actors and so many people that like they're Gary or Nick Nolte and Gary Busey. People
yes.
All the even though I never did. Other people
that's
did.
Hollywood though, right? That's Hollywood. Like they could easily like kind of swap these people. Like,
Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire when they first were starting out.
When they first started out,
For the longest time for
brothers.
me, it was Malcolm McDowell and Terrence Stamp. I was always.
Oh my God!
I can see that. I can totally see that. Totally. Yeah, that's wild. But there are tons of Tom Sizemore, Michael Madsen. Those two got confused all the time. Just these are people that could go out for the same roles, and it would be interesting to see them flip.
And even just name like Bill Pullman and Paxton, people were
that was already like you would constantly say Bill Paxton. I mean Pullman, like you would constantly.
Or Dylan McDermott, Dermot Mulroney.
Like no, for sure.
Wait. But then there's Keith David, and then there's David Keith. So let's not forget about him. That throws everybody off. So I got to finish season 2 of Peacemaker. And
all right. What did you think?
I am enamored with this series. Watching Suicide Squad when it first came out, and I think I said this when I reviewed season 1, I loved it. It's a great film. It's way over the top ruckus, but Peacemaker is literally the worst character, and he's kind of almost a throwaway character. Like you could just be like, all right, well, whatever. Who cares? He became an antagonist. It is what it is. So when they made the show, I was like, what are you doing, James? What are you considering here?
Care about this character.
Right. And yet after 8 episodes, I'm like, damn. Then I watched season 2 and it goes even further. I actually cried at the end of this season. Not at the very, very end, but at the end. I don't want to spoil it because it's definitely spoilable. But at the very end, I was shocked. But the main ending, I was just in tears.
Yes.
And it's what you expect from James Gunn, so it's going to have a lot of ridiculousness. There's an orgy. There's all drug use.
Yes.
When I say orgy, I'm talking like and everything, like all out for everybody to see. Sorry, I'm like pantomiming. I shouldn't be doing that. It's definitely not for young people, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. True with the violence too, because it is like horror level gore when people get obliterated. But it has so much heart. Like, I don't even know how to explain how much heart it has. And it's from characters you like. I did not like Economos like at all for the longest time. But now that I'm watching Creature Commandos, I'm like, oh shit, I really like this guy.
Right?
And it's weird because what you can see what James Gunn is doing because, and hopefully he continues to get to do so. We'll unfortunately see how that goes. Yeah. But he essentially saw what he did in the DCEU and went, okay, I'm going to tie it to the DCU, but also show you my blueprint. So all the characters we've seen so far, all of them have potentiality to go into their own show or their own movie. And it's true across the board.
Yeah.
The reason we're getting Clayface is because of something out of Creature Commandos. Like
Yeah.
you can see it. You're like, oh shit, we're getting Clayface because of that. Same thing is true for Superman. Like you can watch Peacemaker season 1, then watch Superman, then watch Peacemaker season 2, and it's beautiful. It just kind of flows right into it. Great, like I can't believe I'm going to say this, but great music. Like amazing, terrible 80s cheesy butt rock that I adore.
But I mean,
that I'm like,
James,
love
James
it.
Gunn.
Definitely
I know,
recommend you
like,
watching the
who's singing the
podcast
song
episodes.
at the
Because they do a whole music. I definitely recommend watching the podcast episodes because he goes into really deep dive explanations about the music and the music choices and the playlist and all that kind of thing. So yeah, you get a lot of good information from those. He also talks about like what's canon, what's not canon going forward. Yeah,
and you can, I mean, if you just watch season 2, you'll kind of pick up on what is and what isn't. And it's nice because most things are, but there are a few things that are like, well, this goes. We're going to throw that out. But the fact that James Gunn is such a music person and that he infuses that into everything he does, I think is part of what elevates his work. Yeah. Because Superman, we all sang that song throughout the summer. Like we were all punk rock, for the summer. And when Guardians came out, we were all, singing those classic 70s songs. And Peacemaker's making me sing butt rock I never would in a million years have touched. And now I'm like, oh man, I really like the second season's intro song is like, I don't know, it's choice. I don't know what to say other than that, but do check it out if you have not watched season 2.
Yes, do it.
Yeah. And Lala, I know you love DC, so you should 100% just. It's only 60 episodes, and they're only half an hour. That's what's wild. They're only half-hour episodes, so you can get through it in 4 hours each season. So
that's great.
Yeah. We do have some news that's happening, and some of our news now we're doing is somewhat like rumor. I guess we're doing rumor news, but that's fine. It's fun to talk about it. So we're going to move to the news.
Now it's time for the real news.
The very first piece of news we have here is Johnny Depp is now going to be playing Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, and Ty West to be directing. I really wanted to hear what you guys think about this. Thoughts, Lala?
I mean, I love Johnny Depp, so I'll watch him in anything that he's in. I enjoy him as a performer. I think he kind of like sinks his teeth into anything that he does, especially like if he likes it. Sometimes you can tell in his stuff if he likes it or not, depending on how his performance is. But I don't know if we need another Christmas Carol. That's just me personally. I don't know about anybody else. I've seen it done so many times, and this is coming from a person who knows? When I get into the position that I want to get into, I might make another Christmas Carol because I do like the story. And I think that's why a lot of people recreated or rebooted or whatever you want to call it is because like they might have grew up with it, read it, or watched a movie and they enjoy it. They put their own spin on it and however. But it's a lot of so I'm just curious on what you're gonna do differently that hasn't already been done in a sense.
It's Ty West, so
I mean, yeah, but also like Maxine wasn't that great, so it's just like one of those things where it's like, and it's no disrespect to him, like no disrespect to him, but it's like Maxine wasn't that great, so it's like he's a great director, a great writer, but it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you taking A Christmas Carol to the 2000s? Are you taking it back to the 80s? Like I'm curious. I'm going to probably more likely check it out because I enjoy him as like a writer director.
Yeah.
Like an old hat.
But which version are you checking out? Because Eggers is also working on a version with Willem Dafoe.
Now, who's going to be darker, right? Whose version is going to be darker? And I think it would be Eggers personally.
I feel like it's going to be Eggers because if you put Willem Dafoe in it, he's not going to be a bright and shiny character. So
but that's the perfect Scrooge, in my opinion. You can't get better than Willem Dafoe as Scrooge. Like,
but it's like, what is there to update, to delve into? Because even the horror elements of the story, I think pretty much every iteration always handles those more scary elements really
Yeah.
well. Like you look
Yeah.
at a comedy like Scrooge, and those scary moments with the scarier ghosts and things like that were
Well,
terrifying.
there's the fake death, and then there's the real death in
Yeah.
that movie. You're
Yeah.
like putting them next to each other. You're like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
I'm serious. I don't know.
I just don't see what you could do to make it, because like you think of something like Scrooge or even Muppet Christmas Carol, there have been adaptations that took different spins on this very familiar story. You know, we got the Jim Carrey Uncanny Valley version. You know, so what else can we do?
The
to this
Polar
story?
Express version, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
So what
Because
can
the
we
thing is,
do to make
what-
this story resonate
agreed.
any
Because
more
if
than it already has?
anything you do,
Got-
you're stripping away the story itself, and now it's just something new. So you might as well just create
Right.
something new that was inspired
By that,
Christmas
yeah.
Carol, and not so
Well,
much.
do like a Clueless type of thing, or do like a 10 Things I Hate
like
About
a
You,
things I
and
hate
like
about you. Yeah, where it's like,
completely change it, but it still
Yeah.
has all the
It has
elements, right?
roots of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
that
yeah,
familiar
I wouldn't
story.
be mad at that. That sounds way more interesting than just recreating
Retelling the story. Yeah. with
That sounds
I
way
wouldn't mind
your
a
horror
true
story.
non-comedic telling of the Bill Murray Scrooge, where it's a corporate sleaze. We haven't really had that. It's always the like town, banker guy instead of like
Hyena
a
said a
full-blown
Sweeney Todd
corporate sleaze.
version. I'm not mad at it.
Well, that would have to be the Depp one, right? So we'd have to have him
Yeah.
doing his thing.
I'm not mad at
on
it.
the side.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, this is very much like King Arthur, like Robin
Yeah.
Hood, characters whose
Yeah.
stories been told.
Been told over and over
ad
But-
again.
Okay,
Yeah.
to that point, that's a great point. We still do get the occasional, like, if they do 10 remakes, like every 10th is good. So like looking at Robin Hood, the original, the like 50s version is good, or 40s version is good. And then we didn't get another good one until Costner, right? And so,
And Men
but
in
we haven't had
Tights.
another good one since then. So we're due for another good Robin Hood, is what I'm saying. Because it's been 40 years.
I mean, was it Robin Hood with
Taron
Jamie
Ed-
Foxx
or-
and
That was a
Egerton?
terrible adaptation of Robin Hood. I'm sorry.
Honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I enjoyed it. I actually liked that film because it was so different from anything else. Like, because to me, that's the only way you could keep doing stories like this, if you try your best to make it somewhat different than what has already come before you. Because there's only so many times dude in the woods with a bow and arrow, and I'm just like, all right, what we doing now with this?
Yeah.
Like, they
We're men.
add some.
We're men in tights. I'm sorry.
They at least try to add some
Another
like
great
one
version.
or something.
Right.
I'm not saying it's amazing, but they did at least try to do something different, and I'll always give people credit.
Okay,
for trying
that's
to do
fair.
something different.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't own
Um,
it, so just, it ain't in my collection.
I have a feeling this will be a bloodier version of A Christmas Carol than we've had before, while Eggers will be like it'll just be black and white almost. Like there'll be like one color he puts into the movie, and it'll be red, maybe for the scarf or something.
Yeah, so I'm open to the interpretation, but I'd have to see. But I don't think
I'm
it's
not-
needed. Like I don't.
Yeah, I'm not
hyped
excited
about this or
it.
anything.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it, but I like Willem Dafoe. I like Johnny Depp. Like I like Eggers. I like Ty West. So like I'm going to give all of them the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't think that Willem Dafoe nor Johnny Depp would sign up for something that they didn't like read and like, or at least get a concept of and like.
And know they could do something interesting
right,
with.
something interesting with it. So I'm gonna lean. All right.
Now this is Johnny Depp's like big step back into the spotlight after all of his crap that he went through.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he wasn't lacking on. I understand everything that happened, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't lacking on like people sending him scripts and stuff like that. So this is what he chose. So I'm interested to see why.
Why he chose that to kind of be the comeback thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. I agree. We've got two other pieces of news. We're going to move to the next one here, and we've got Guillermo del Toro again saying straight up, "I would rather die than use AI in my films." And some people might think this is over the top or hyperbolic, but I am 100% with this guy.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but don't be using AI at all. Like, just don't be using it. You're killing creativity, in my opinion. But of course, like, why wouldn't this wonderful man say this wonderful thing. And I think the panel 100% agrees on this one. I don't think this isn't as much news as it just I want to do a great shout out for Del Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are probably ways that AI could be used as a tool alongside actual creatives,
Sure.
but that's
Agreed.
not typically what is happening. So,
Mhm.
and we've made films this long without needing it, without using it. So, yeah, 100% agree
We're
with this.
already a nation of lazy, and I mean that like across the board. I just don't mean like United States. I mean across the board. The world itself is lazy in certain aspects. Some might have an upper on some others, and we might be lower on some ends, or up or higher, or whatever. We're all lazy, and AI just adds to that. Like the more I'm living, the more I'm seeing we're going more towards the Wall-E life, where like we're all just going to be fat on a ship, can't walk, because AI has just ruled
Done everything
everything,
for us. Yeah.
and we're just getting very used to it. Like Janine said, I think it because like I created like okay, I was using AI in my job because I didn't feel like moving, so I was just like, I guess I'll just use AI right now until before I go home, and I created a graphic for my I created a graphic for my content, like for like my streaming. And that's simply because one, I don't have the money to afford to pay anybody to do something, which I would greatly want to, but I needed something in the interim until I can pay someone to do something. So that's just me using it to facilitate in the moment. It's not something that I'm going to use every single time when money becomes way more, my finances change.
Yeah.
And I can afford to, hey, I know this because I know a couple of great artists. I just want to be able to pay you to do the things that I want you to do. And right now, I can't do that. But to use AI to create a whole film,
a whole product, a whole creative product with everything,
and a whole person to do that product,
they're doing
ridiculous. It. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is insane. Because like I've
will
been
be
in
doing
situations like that too. Like I'm writing a book, and so I put like some of my character descriptions in a generator just to see if kind of they would look like how I describe them, to see if like, okay, am I describing them well enough to get the picture? But going forward, if my book becomes anything, if I, do art cards or the cover art, I would never use those. Those are literally for me to kind of see if my descriptions are working for me.
Or they can be tools for whoever you ask to create your something like, hey, this is kind of like
what they're looking like. Can you draw?
Give me your interpretation of this.
Exactly. I would never use those beyond
absolutely
me just kind of tooling with an idea.
Exactly. Exactly. So I agree with Del Toro. Like I'd rather die
100%.
Before that becomes 100% of what I do. Like as a creative, like I create graphics. Like I'm a graphic designer myself. Like that's like a spit in the face. Like I'm low key kind of spitting in the face of myself.
I have my BA in graphic.
You know what I mean? So, but I don't have the time. So AI kind of cuts that time. But if I can give that time and that money to somebody else, I absolutely like 100% will.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way around it. So yeah.
Right. So this next piece of news, I thought really will fit more for the two of you than maybe me. Not that I don't like this, but there's the thought of Thora Birch returning for Hocus Pocus 3. And I wanted to hear your thoughts because the second movie, there's a split in the fandom.
I did not like the second one. I loved the first one. I was not a fan of the second one.
I didn't watch the second one. I mean, I felt like I wasn't, because some stuff that takes like you're so many years apart from your first one that you can't give me the feel of the first one. And sometimes I just sit back on stuff like that because I feel like, and I could be wrong, Janine, let me know, because I know you saw it, you didn't like it, but I felt like the second one felt, well, I would think that the second one would feel more so like we just kind of piece some stuff together. And
and that's what it felt like. It felt like we just want to have fun. We just want to get these actresses back again to do something fun and hang out. And that's what it felt like. There was no really strong story. The new characters I was not really fond of. I just I didn't care for the story or anything about that. I mean, there are like sequels that can come back and really connect well. And because like I feel like I'm a very part of a small fandom of people who liked Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like I loved how it connected. Yes, I loved how it connected. It was incredibly emotional. And I thought they did a good job with it.
It felt like Harold to me, like
Yes,
even in his ghosty
exactly.
moments, like
Yes,
yeah.
Frozen Empire, on the other hand, does not
I mean, it's still
So-
it's the same. It's like Ghostbusters to Ghostbusters 2, where like it's fun, but it kind of falls flat.
So Frozen Empire to me is what Hocus Pocus
Focus
2
is.
is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But you
See,
know,
I
with
liked
Thor
Hocus
coming
Pocus
back,
too, but yeah,
if
I'm a weirdo.
if we're connecting it back to the first one in the way of having Thora, then maybe that might be
I
a
feel
better
like with
connective
legacy,
thread.
yeah,
But
I agree. I feel like with legacy films like this, like when you want to reach back in the past
Mhm.
and try to recoup the money from a past thing that you've done,
You want to know that
I feel
everybody
like
wants to come back, or everyone is included in
exactly.
that,
I
and it
feel
was
like
good
you
enough for
need
them to want to do it. Yeah.
you
Right.
need to
Yeah.
do that with you need to bring back your if you're gonna bring back a legacy movie, you need to bring back the legacy characters if they're alive to bring back.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
not, you
It'd be
need
like
to
doing
go
a
with-
Back to the Future without Michael J. Fox, or doing a
in some
yeah, it'd be
capacity.
weird.
Like I understand
Yeah.
that he's not doing a lot like of acting now
Right.
because like everything, but like you have to bring him back in some capacity, whether he's the new Doc Brown or he's like
That would be
or he's
interesting.
guiding somebody else or something. Like you have to. How can you have something that was so beloved with this character and you don't bring them back in some capacity?
Yeah, and that's what Aina's saying. That's what has
Mhm.
her afraid for Practical Magic too. The fact that they
Same.
recast the daughter instead of bringing Evan Rachel Wood back, like that's
I
kind of
don't like.
annoying.
I don't like that. It's like
Yeah.
don't make the movie then. Like
Yeah.
don't like her. Like I know her character was kind of like it's not focused on the kid.
No, but she was like, I would have come back if you had asked me.
No, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like
If it was a thing of her saying no, I don't want to. Okay,
that's a
but
different story. But y'all didn't even ask her. Like y'all didn't even ask
Right.
her, and she's like, and like it's not like she's passed away. It's not like what's her
It's
name?
not like she's not an
No, it's
amazing actress,
right.
you know.
right.
It's not like any of these people aren't like passed away. It's like why would me personally watching Practical Magic is one of my favorite films, and watching
Me
that
too.
film,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, if they ever make a second one, it has to like now it has to grow up to where like the mom and the aunt are like the aunts to their kids,
Right.
and now they're into their powers and like mishaps happen. Like, come on.
You could
like,
even do the same movie again, in my opinion, but just make everybody the next
Next
generation.
generation, and then
Yeah.
the world is
Absolutely.
obviously advanced as well. So
Right.
those are
And
going to
change.
where all the
So now
differences
that's-
are going to come in.
right. So now you got to work.
But then the
that
town
into it.
will have accepted them for a long time, so it might be some outside source that is causing
Coming
this
in,
strife.
Right.
Right.
Or even then, it could be an inside source that's jealous now of this family
Right.
for breaking that curse and all these
Or
things.
poisoning the town with witches or
Right.
something.
Because
Right.
like to me personally, as much as I love that film, it could easily be like a sequel where because if the Owens women are generations, then whoever the mother had slept with the husband or whatever, they could be generational too because they all was on that land.
Right.
So who's to say that those people aren't witches or some type of evil warlocks or something like that? That's now
more other
come in.
powerful creatures
You know what
and
I'm saying?
people. Yeah, I
Because
like
now
that.
when the town was against them, like that was in their favor, that was part of their power. Now that the
Yeah,
town
but
isn't,
now that it's accepted,
maybe
they don't
it's
like that.
different.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like,
Right.
come on, like it could have been something great, and y'all not bringing that girl back. Like,
It's already just like a bad taste in your mouth. For
it
like,
is absolutely, and now
Yeah.
it still makes me want to watch Hocus Pocus 2 now because if it's bad, I got to see the bad things. So I have.
Yeah, like I say,
You
watch
should
it
watch
for
it.
your
I
own
think you might
opinion.
enjoy it.
I didn't like the story. It felt kind of just lazy and like it was just
I
there
get
to
that.
just.
I don't know. To me, it still felt like a Disney Channel movie, and I was like, all right, that works if it's a Disney Channel movie. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's because the original was a Disney. Well, it was released in theaters, but it was still a Disney like Channel production, like one of the first ones they were put in theaters in that way.
Yeah.
We do have other movies we want to talk about, so we will move on from seeing what comes from Hocus Pocus 3 to our first movie of two. We are dealing with, two people that are disabled. We're dealing with a protagonist that's disabled, and we're dealing with an antagonist that's disabled, and we're going to start with the antagonist. So Don't Breathe is our first film. And this is a Fede Alvarez film, 2016. Fede Alvarez, most known for doing Evil Dead 2013. He brought Gene Levy back to be in this film as main star. And then I always forget the guy's name, the blind guy in this
Stephen
film.
Lang.
Stephen Lang, Slang.
Amazing.
You feel me? Because whoo,
Yeah.
that's a good looking man. I don't care no idea. That's a good looking
Right?
man.
Who was amazing in
The Avatar film.
Avatar. Yeah, absolutely.
Even
Played
when he
that
was
to
talking out my
perfection.
man, I was like, that's a good looking man. I was like, dang. I want to root for you, but you're despicable.
Also has Dylan Minnette. who is really the only other person I think anybody would recognize in this film, and is about basically a couple of kids that, well, not kids, I guess they're in their 20s, who like to rob places and decide to rob the wrong guy.
Yeah.
So, Lala, had you seen Don't Breathe before this weekend?
Mm-mm.
I had a feeling. And Janine, I think you had, because we had talked about this before. I also saw it. I actually saw it when it came out in theaters. So Lala, Don't Breathe.
I enjoyed this film. Now I've seen the trailer a bunch of times, so I've seen the trailer and I've seen like the cover of the art where she's like her mouth is covered like that. That's whenever someone says "Don't breathe," that sticks out in my brain a lot. And I like Jane Levy because like she's a hilarious comedic actress. Her show Suburgatory should never got canceled.
Agreed.
And like
playlist was really good
yep,
too.
should have never got canceled either because that was
so good,
amazing as well.
They keep canceling her for no reason. It's annoying.
Honestly, she's kind of like the Tyler Levine of this because his shows always get canceled. Reaper for one, I loved Reaper. We weren't ready for Reaper, but I digress. But I enjoyed this film. I thought it's a film that takes some left and right turns. I was like, wait a second. I was like, what?
Yes, wait, that midway twist, girl.
Wait. So like, okay, so it's like it starts off with these kids being like, we got to get out of Detroit. Which ding ding, as a person that lives in Detroit, let's leave. I know everything.
I wondered what you thought of that.
I said we can definitely go. And looking at the shots, I was like, oh, they're actually in Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
in some shots.
Yeah, not all of them, but like some shots, I was like, oh, y'all was actually in Detroit for some of these shots. Well,
the exterior of the house, I would assume, was done in Detroit.
Yes, and then the rest was on a set. I think they were like they were in another country. Like
like that block, but they were in Detroit for a little bit. I had looked it up. They were like they filmed some of that in Detroit because I was looking at some stuff. I was like, wait a second, Google, do me a favor. So I understood the them wanting to get out of the situation they were in, but also y'all robbing from people from Detroit. Y'all feel like y'all broke. People in Detroit broke too. Like,
right.
I know it's some rich people somewhere, like in some certain areas.
There's a hill in every town that has the rich
area. Yeah.
But then y'all decide to go rob. Like y'all. It felt very Robin Hood at first. Y'all was like robbing from the rich, whatever. Y'all wasn't hurting anybody. And then
get your little sister out of this really bad family situation.
Right. Like understood. But now you're trying to go rob a guy that was like in the war. He's blind. Like he lives on a shady side. He don't live in, like, look at the house, man. Like,
he's the last house. He's the last house with someone in it on that street. Yeah.
On that street, you know what I'm saying? The other ones are vacant. Like, what are we doing? Like, so it's like in that instance, I was like, y'all kind of deserve whatever y'all gonna get in this instance.
The moral shifts that you go through.
That you go through in this film, like it's crazy because like I went from being like, well, y'all deserve this to y'all don't deserve this much. So like,
and he does kind of deserve it.
Like he does deserve this. Like, and then it flip back around and be like, oh, y'all don't deserve it. Oh, y'all do. Like it was just too much. Like I was just going back and forth on this. I think Stephen Lang did good in the fact that he like. Portraying a blind person. Like I would love to know what his process was. Did he talk to anybody? Like what did he have to kind of like?
Did they give him contacts? It looked like he had contacts. Yes. Maybe he was blinded by the contacts.
Yeah, I think he was. And they also gave the young people like blackout kind of context as well in the scene when they're in the basement.
In the basement of light.
And it's like that gray lighting.
Yeah.
Are you sure that wasn't actually just shot in the dark with night vision? Because you get that same look from that.
No, that was the point. Because I watched the kill count after.
Please.
There's a kill count, so he drops a bunch of like little factoids about the movie. So he did talk about they actually wore context for that specific scene, so their pupils would look dilated. And
so it would look like they were looking off at nothing, because you have to look like you're not focused.
They couldn't see. They were blackout contacts so that they could really, truly be kind of blind in that scene. That it was a purposeful choice to have that monochromatic look as opposed to like making it like night vision green or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that because like who wearing night vision goggles in this moment? Like that's
right.
Exactly.
We are. I mean, we had no choice. We were in the dark. We had to put them on, Lala. Like I'm sorry.
That would have been my first thought. Like, what did y'all find these in his basement? Like, how did y'all get these out? Right? I I like that extra bit of information because that scene was actually like a very like interesting scene because as a blind person, like this is your house. You know where everything is. Like the little things he was doing, like he was touching the top, like you're
Right.
touching certain things. To
He
kind
could
of
walk to the edge of the basement stairs and not fall down them.
Right. You know what I mean? Like he like just because that's what you would have living in a house by yourself, learning, you know, being blind and like learning your area. Like that was great. So like cut off the lights. Like y'all got to be in my world now. Like,
Yeah.
in my world now. And that's like that was like an interesting thing. But when I saw the girl chained up in the basement, I said, wait a minute. I said, what? I said, what is happening in the film? I said, what? And then to find out that he essentially
it's a horror film. It's not just a heist film.
Yes, and the way he's trying to justify, he's like doing some jigsaw justification.
Oh man, the line, that line. I'm not a rapist. Sorry, dude. You are.
Yes, you are.
You don't gotta go that way to be that.
Like, on her. Well, you force something on her.
Yes,
like
I didn't do this willingly, sir. Like James.
Yeah, it's not like she showed up in the door and was like, "I killed your daughter. Would you like to have another baby?" Like, that would have been a very different movie.
And to like watching him go, oh my god, like that whole scene as a woman. I'm not saying a man couldn't, but as a woman, watching that scene was like my heart was like beating very fast but very slowly at the same time. I thought I was dying of the slowest heart attack that ever could occur for a person. Because like not only is she bound, but she's also strung up. And then
in that vulnerable position.
That's a vulnerable position. And you cut open her pants, go to the turkey baster and say that like you're young, you will breed well.
Well,
I was like, he gotta die.
As soon as you give me this baby. Oh God.
Yeah. And what is this? I'll let you go shit.
You not let me go, honey. You gonna kill me once I give birth to this child. You gonna put me in tar like you did the other girl. I was like, he has to go. And the fact that he survived at the end, I said, Lord have mercy.
Well, the fact that not just that, but the fact that he got a sequel where they try to make him a hero.
No, yeah, because even the end of this movie, they're like, this war veteran, he killed the two, you know, he basically erases her from the whole thing.
Exactly.
And,
But it's like, and so I ended up buying both of these because they were cheap on Fandango, and like I bought the Don't Breed bundle because it was like $14.99. They both were $7.99 a piece. So I was like, I might as well just buy the bundle. It doesn't make sense not to. And I kind of read a little bit of the second one, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, they're trying to totally recontextualize this man, but
no,
and it's not going to work. That's why I never watched it. I was like, no.
They give him
make him the good guy. It's not like Catwoman, who was a thief and then becomes a good guy. That's way different. This is
he had a daughter.
Man, like, I'm sorry.
His 11-year-old daughter. I said, when did he have a child? Where did the baby come from?
Admissions of guilt lines, and they do explain why he has a little girl with him. But yeah, that's not enough.
Agree, Aina. This man is trash. I said, listen, I don't condone them trying to steal from him, but once everything was out and about, and like he had,
that twist was wild.
Yeah, I like that you said he had to die because I literally asked Batsy. I said, so here's the scenario: it's $1 million. You walk away clean, or you turn this guy in, or in your case, you're saying just kill him, which is still, turning him to the cops and killing him is the same vein. Like it's still justice, right?
I was waiting for her to do like an anonymous call at the airport or something like that, because like as she was because like, how did you let him go? You know that he's going to find another woman to do this to, because he's going to find somebody else. Like it's bodies underneath his floor. Like, girl, how many actually? I wonder how many women.
That's a good question.
Are actually under his floor, because him saying that you're young, you'll breed well, makes me think that there were some older ones that didn't breed well.
I mean, he chose this girl specifically because she's the girl who.
And then he turned on Levy because she killed the girl and the baby.
I mean, he did it, but he blames her because they were there. Yeah.
I'm with you, Janine, on he has motivation, but what Batsy said was that ultimately he's snapped at this point. He's already gone this far. Yeah, so now what Lala's saying, I think, follows. Like he will do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
But I could justifiably see why she would think he was dead. Like he fell all that way down. The gun went off and shot him in the side.
5 headshots with a crowbar.
Yes, she hit him a bunch of times. He got beat up. Like, so I could understand why she would think he was dead and just leave it at that and go.
Leave it at that, yeah. But I still would have called the cops. I'm like, y'all might want to check on the house. and look at I would have just left an anonymous tip. Like I would.
She couldn't take the money if she did that. That's the caveat. Had she called the cops, they would have been on her trail for that money.
Listen, but they wouldn't have been. I promise you, they wouldn't have been.
You think he still wouldn't have reported it?
I don't think he would have reported it. Like, because what's more important, the $1 million or the fact that like you got a
he
whole
doesn't go to jail
set up here and that you got a body.
Oh, and he can go right back to it. That's a good point.
It's bodies all around his house, like, and he didn't get rid of everybody's body, and she.
Oh man, Lala, you just gave me some wild headcanon. Okay,
well, so the guy he only named 2 burglars. He said 2 people broke into his house.
Right.
He only named the 2. Yeah, said nothing was taken.
Nothing was taken. So if she left an anonymous,
but she might. I don't know if he was
to California.
If he was in jail, not the hospital, he might have squealed on her though. Like we don't know. Yeah. But you gave me a weird headcanon. So the kid at the beginning takes all the jewelry they steal from the first people and sell it to the guy who rips them off. And you can tell they've been doing this a while. Right. What if there's like our blind guy antagonist is doing the same thing but with organs, and that's how he has money?
I mean, that would make sense.
That would have made a better sequel. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Make him the antagonist again. Make him darker.
Exactly. Keep him evil. But
honestly, I'm a little disappointed for the sequel now, because if they're trying to make him like a good person, that's not.
He's the protagonist of the film.
Yeah, because they try to put even worse people he's up against.
No, you're not going to convince me that this man that raped a woman. I get that she killed your kid. It's not like she did it on purpose. It seems
right.
It's an accident,
and it's like
literally called an accident.
And her parents are probably the ones who got her off. Rich parents, whatever was the whole thing.
And you decide.
And now you're still blaming the girl.
And you decide to string me up, impregnate me, so you can have another kid. Like, you gotta die, sir. There's nothing about this.
Ooh, and that shot of him pulling it up out into the
listen. And when he was walking, and a little bit of it dripped out, I said,
Oh, when she slammed it in his mouth, like.
Oh my God! When she put that down his throat, I said, "Ooh, throw up city, impregnate."
He deserved every drop of that.
Oh my God!
I think she should have shoved it up his ass personally, but that's just me.
Yeah. Some of those moments irked me though, when she's like, they have him chained up or whatever, and they have him like chained up, and they're like, and she's like, we gotta call the cops, and he's like, well, we can't do that now because like ABCD. I'm sitting here like, if y'all don't run out of this house, this is his house. He's been able to thwart y'all at every turn, and y'all took 8 years
to figure out that. Yeah, to have this conversation. You could have had this conversation outside
in the car, somewhere else. That's why old boy got shot, because y'all was waiting too long.
So we kind of went a little different this time about this movie because we just talked about it a lot more than we normally do. Yeah. But there were a couple things that bothered me about the movie, and I've seen it 2 times. When I saw it in theaters in 2016, I enjoyed it. I gave it a pretty decent rating. But watching it this time, I had some gripes. I was kind of surprised that they spent so little time on trying to drive home that Rocky's a good person ultimately, because I get the impression that she's not a great person because the clothing she's stealing, she's actually taking some of that home. Her mom notices this. That's why she's like, I know you have money because you wouldn't have all these clothes if you didn't have money, or she's at least doing something. And yeah, it's a bad home environment, but I mean, why? Because she calls her older daughter. I mean, that's not great that she calls her a whore, but I didn't feel like it was such a terrible environment that it would justify her going out and doing all this stealing when it felt like half of the stealing was for her own pleasure, especially the way she laid on the bed in the rich person's house. And she was just like, yeah, this is my house. I don't know. I didn't get enough from the protagonist to give a shit. And then I also think the antagonist is a piece of shit. So I'm like, not great people, awful person. Who am I rooting for in this movie?
Yeah, but I think that's also an interesting dynamic to not have anyone to root for. Yeah. Like I think that's an interesting dynamic to have, that like your protagonists are not great people. You have your antagonists. So I think that's an interesting thing to also kind of explore in the movie as well.
Yeah. So. I knew her character was going to live simply because of the little girl.
She's the final girl. Yeah, she's the final girl. The other gripe I had was they just kind of took Cujo and stuck it in for 5 minutes. I thought that was really odd and pointless. And how did he find her does he know his dog's growl or something?
I
Like,
guess he just heard
how
his
did?
dog barking. There's no one else on the
Yeah,
street. He sent his dog
yeah.
out to specifically find her. There's nobody else in this neighborhood, so he hears his dog barking. I
But
guess he
Mm,
know
remember
where.
Dylan's character was like, "Don't run," and as long as they didn't run, the dog kind of stood there.
sure.
The moment she booked it, I mean, the dog was already coming out running, but she booked it. The dog had a line of sight to know who
True.
he was kind of going for. I will give her props for being innovative with capturing him in the car, because
Oh, with the trunk, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been done for. I would have tried to hotwire it or something. I would have pulled some cords out. I would remember a TV show that I watched and pulled some cords out and try to figure something out. Either I would have blew it up with us in it, or or it would start running. Either way.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. That's fair. Janine,
Yeah.
we didn't formally ask, but do you have other thoughts on the film?
Something I noticed this time around that I hadn't noticed before is they do this really cool kind of pan around the house. So we get a layout of everything we're going to be seeing. Like we kind of close up on the bell that rings when he knows the girl down there is moving around. We get a close up of like the vent at the top, different windows. So I don't think I really paid attention of this kind of wonder of like panning around the house and kind of focusing in on different aspects. I think we go in that little gardening room and we pan in on like the hammer on the wall that's eventually going to get picked up and used. So I liked, laying out our area, seeing where we're going to be in this film, so we kind of understand the layout of the place, and all the action that's going to be taking place. Also, some, because we're working with a blind person, there's really interesting things happening with the sound design, and every little noise just makes the scene that much more tense because he can hear it, he'll know where you are. When he thinks somebody's there and he's moving that gun around and it's dead silent, and then that phone goes off and he
goes,
shoots the phone. Yes.
He's a good shot, even though he's blind.
When he killed Money like that and doing that whole shot in slow-mo, and he kind of it's the scene settled for a minute and then he shoots him. So they set up tension, I think, really well in this movie for sure. And those moments were great, and the sound stuff I think was really well done. And I love the pacing. Like there's constantly something happening, something, you think they're going to get out of there and then something happens to stop them. We think Dylan Minette's character dies and then he doesn't.
Because he stabbed Money instead of stabbing him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
so many
moments. Yeah.
So many switch ups and builds and tension shifts. And again, I just like that perspective of like, there's not really anyone to root for. We're just kind of watching this play out and we're kind of wondering what's going to happen and where it's going to go.
Only person I rooted for was the little girl. I was like, she deserves it better.
Yeah, no, the little girl, when she got to leave through the train station in the end, I'm like, okay, cool, this is good. But you get it for like a microsecond at the very end, right?
Yeah.
So, Lala froze. What was I going to say? I totally had something. It reminds me of like a more grounded People Under the Stairs, where like you're stuck in a house with somebody who knows their house really well, and there's weird things going on here or there. And they're going to remake that, which I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you could replace that kid. He did such an amazing job.
Good. And I watched that recently, a rewatch a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it still holds up. It's really good. And it's like if all of the characters in this film were the Ving Rhames character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. So we're not going to be able to get Lala's rating. We'll get it when she comes back, but we're going to go ahead and rate Don't Breathe and move on to Hush, which maybe this is weirdly perfect where it's just you and me about Hush because it evens it up. But we'll see. So why don't you go ahead and rate Don't Breathe and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I give Don't Breathe a 7.5.
7.5. Okay. So that's kind of a baseline of where it kind of gets rated as it is. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it as much this time, so I'm going to give it a 6.5, where I think there are things that could have been improved, or maybe the movie could have just been a little longer to flesh some things out so that I cared more. And I see your point about you like that aspect, but I tend to need somebody to sink my teeth into to follow along with. I can always identify the us character, right? Who is us?
Yeah, that perspective is always kind of comfortable to settle into. Yeah, I totally get that. Mm-hmm.
And Jane's character is supposed to be that, but I'm like, Rocky, you're not the greatest person, so this is hard for me. Even though I love Jane Levy, and in fact, this kind of put me and Batsy down a rabbit hole. about why she isn't really as big as maybe she should be, because in my opinion, she's dynamite
yeah,
and
she's
should have
great.
blown up, right? But apparently she went to Fetty and was like, I'm not into doing hardcore horror right now. I'd like to take a break. And he's like, all right, then you're not coming back at all.
Well,
Is
yeah, no,
essentially
they had a
what it
really
was.
rough. They had a really rough time. The kill count kind of goes into like he couldn't find any kind of hardcore things about like a fight that they had, but there was a lot of
Right.
kind of miscommunication. He kind of put out like a tweet or something about her being difficult or not wanting to do certain things, and then she kind of
Right.
clapped back at him. So it was a bit of a contentious relationship between the two of them.
Right. Which
Okay.
sucks, because I think it did
Catch me
hurt.
up. What I missed? Catch me up.
We
What I
can
missed?
hear you. We started rating, and that's literally where we're still at. We were kind of just
No,
chatting.
you're
Hoping
talking
you'd
about
come
something
back.
with
So.
Fetty. I was curious.
Oh, so Fetty and Jane had already worked together in Evil Dead, and then they worked together on this movie. And when they were done with this movie, she said, I need a break from horror for a little while, because the horror movies I've been doing have been really intense emotionally.
Oh,
But this movie
absolutely.
alone would be hardcore, right? And then in Evil Dead, she they tortured her, like almost quite
No,
literally.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, but
she
this
said,
is
I
the
can do
second.
this
This
for
is
a
the
little
second
while, and
movie.
that's it, right? I don't
So
want to do
this
it for a
is the
little
second
while. And
movie
he was like,
she,
well, fine, you're not going to do it at all.
This
Yeah.
is the second movie that she. This is the second one where she almost gets raped, or essentially like, or gets like, 'cause she gets raped in like Evil Dead by the
Well,
monster or whatever. Always, that's how I look at it, because things go in her, out of her, all that kind of stuff. And in this one, that could be
there is a gross element of that's the way it enters her body. I agree with you, and it's definitely violating, and I totally hear you. And I think that combined with this movie
it could be a
would
lot.
make you go, you know,
Yeah, and he did
wouldn't
things,
have
he did
break.
things without permission. Like he would do things to kind of surprise her or scare her without kind of, talks beforehand. And so they
No,
did.
it's like I'm
They
an
ended
actor.
up kind of having a bit of a
I'm an
thing.
actor, right? Just like with The Exorcist.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
fire
an
a
actor.
gun near my head. I'll pretend like you
I'll
did.
pretend like you did. Like,
Right.
even if you
That's
want
my
to shoot
job.
one off, even if you want to shoot one off, so I can just hear it to have the sound kind of resonate. But don't do that. Respect me enough not to do that. Like,
So Janine rated it a 7.5. I rated it a 6.5. Wow.
I'll give Don't Breathe a 7. I'm not mad at it.
All right in the middle. So it is a watchable Real Study film, is what we're telling you. It is watchable at 7. All right, so we're going to move on to Hush, which is considered by many horror aficionados one of Mike Flanagan's best films, flat out. And that's saying something, considering he did Dr. Sleep, and he did both The House on Haunted Hill and Bly Manor. He's done some pretty creepy shit that people like. He and his wife made this movie with a few other people, and I don't know if this was their house, but I know that she is, of course, the main star. Say it again.
No, it wasn't their house.
Oh, okay. But again, another single house location for the majority of the film. We have a main character who is deaf and mute and cannot speak. She had meningitis when she was 13 and lost her ability to speak and hear. And she likes to write novels and is writing her second novel and trying to do so when she is accosted by a dude who's been running through the neighborhood killing people, apparently. Lala, had you seen this one before?
No.
And Janine, you had?
Yes.
More than once. Yes. I've seen this once before as well, but I think I'm going to start only because there was some contention about how MrSniDBitS feels about Hush. And so I thought I'd clear this up very quickly. I think it's a well-made movie. I think it's really good at building tension. I think the tension building throughout the first 30 minutes of the film is really, really good, especially like the kill of her neighbor. That's a pretty intense moment. Where I struggle with the film is only really a couple of moments when I realized it this time. But it's character driven more than it's film driven. So I'll continue saying what I think is positive and then let you guys talk, and then I'll point out the couple of things that I'm talking about after, kind of like I just did. But I do like the idea of a deaf protagonist, mostly because of the fact that she's making noise that she doesn't know she's making.
Yes, which is just that much more scary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And he is able to hear these noises or these subtle things. Yeah. And they play on that throughout the whole film. And of course that comes back at the end, which I really, really like. But I think I had a better viewing of it this time for two reasons. One, I heard everybody loves it so much that I'm like, okay, maybe it's like Man of Steel. I was like, maybe there's a reason. Let me try this again. But also, I watched Don't Breathe before it, and I didn't like that as much. So I had this like,
Yeah, comparative kind of conversation.
this was better almost because putting them next to each other, I think Hush is the better film
Yeah.
between the two. So that helped, and I think that along with mood, along with even the like smell and feel of the day can determine what you feel about a movie, depending on the movie. So anyway, that I think I liked it more this time. Janine, tell us about Hush.
Yeah, no, I thought this was just such a smart concept for a film. I mean, I think that's beautifully illustrated in the moment when her neighbor comes banging on her door and she can't hear her. She's just cleaning up her dinner, doing her own thing and can't hear a single thing. And this man just comes up and he starts to realize what's going on that she can't hear. That whole just sequence of her talking to her sister on the computer and him just coming right in and him coming to that realization that she can't hear him. It's so terrifying just how that tension builds like that. And like you said, I love that element of her not being able to know how much noise she's making that he will be able to pick up on. So in terms of the sound design in this film, really, I think, again, like I talked about with Good Boy, some really interesting problem solving this movie had to kind of do to put us in that perspective and really think like her. I love that they establish what she does as a writer in having all these different endings. So when that comes back at the end, that could have felt like a cheesy girl boss moment, but it's her kind of using the tools in her toolbox.
Like that's how she thinks.
And
that's how she moves. Yeah.
that's already a way she thinks. It's not some power that's all of a sudden coming up with.
Right.
Nowhere. When you had stepped away, me and Law talked about, her, we loved kind of her being able to kind of learn a little bit each time. After anything that happens, after every time she kind of steps away to collect herself, she kind of figures something out. She acclimates to the situation a little bit better each time and knows what she should or shouldn't do.
Right.
I'll just to throw it out there. I love the little Easter egg that she is the author of Midnight Mass, which ended up going on to be another show. So she's the author of that show, essentially.
Yeah.
And then she ends up being in that show.
Yeah, and the friend is in it as well. So the friend,
Yes. And I think we learned that one of her other it's also Midnight Mass also appears in Gerald's Game. Like you see the book in that movie as well.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, so just kind of a fun little connective thing that he did there before he had even conceived of like what Midnight Mass was going to be.
Right.
But yeah, just the tension building, I think, is so well done. Just something so different for the genre that you wouldn't really think of. How she kind of has to work within her means, how she ultimately kind of defeats him at the end. Again, sound design and stuff like in the very beginning when she's cooking, we open not hearing, we hear all the cooking and all the cutting and the chopping, and then we cut to not hearing any of it. So the film is starting to put us in her POV of like how things work for her. So yeah, just incredibly smart. John Gallagher Jr. So
baby
in this film, and like I love he is a chameleon in 2016 because he does this film where he's this creepy, no morals, no heart, no emotion. Then he's doing 10 Cloverfield Lane where we absolutely love him and he's like this goofball. And then he's doing
Is he the main character in that?
Huh?
Is he the main character in that?
In 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah.
Well, aside from, I guess, John Goodman, yeah. And Mary Elizabeth.
Oh, I thought you meant Cloverfield. My brain just said Cloverfield. That's all I heard. Fair enough.
He's kind of this lovable goofball there. And then Belko Experiment, where he's kind of this measured, like, regular guy. So I love in this year that he's doing kind of 3 totally different kind of horror projects. And in this film, he is just so scary and so chilling. And so intimidating, and just the way she fights back against him is great. So I love this movie.
Lala, what did you think of Hush?
I enjoyed Hush. I thought it was I'm always interested when you take a person with something and then you put them in a scenario where you don't normally put them, like when you have a quiet place and you have like the deaf daughter in a quiet place. To me, that's what made that, like, Emily Blunt's great in that she's phenomenal. John Krasinski's phenomenal, but having a deaf daughter and having to speak in sign language and having to be quiet, like those are elements to me that make that film very much what it is. And so to me, it's the same with this one, to have. And she wasn't born this way. Like, up until 13, she had her hearing, and then that and a botched, an unsuccessful surgery left her, deaf and mute. And so the scenes where she's like crying out and you don't hear a word, and it's like you can hear her, even though you can't hear her.
And
right?
I love
very much so.
Voice as well, when she,
right, when she's like talking and
she says, my voice sounds like my mother's voice. When we hear her
I love that, actually.
Yeah.
It makes sense that she's talking because we established that she does hear a voice in her head.
Exactly. And so I like that.
And it was a different actress, which I think was great. You heard a different voice.
And so I like that, like Janine said, I like that they kind of established like who she is, how she thinks. So you could kind of get on the train of how she thinks during this whole scenario, right? Like, you're not, like, at least for me, I wasn't confused when she made certain decisions, because they kind of show us how she thinks throughout this. And they set up little things, like they set up the light. She was like, whoa, that's the fire alarm. She's like, that's very loud. And she's like, yeah, because it vibrates. Like, it's kind of like made for me. Like, I need to feel the vibration.
Right.
And I was like, that's coming back somewhere. And I'm happy that it did. I was like, finally, I was like, use the light. Use the light. And like I was telling Janine, when we were speaking about this earlier, I was like, I like that she kind of makes mistakes, because you're not in this situation until you're in this situation. Right? Like, unless you're a conspiracy theorist or a person that has like a fear of anything happening, and so you create scenarios in your head. If this happens, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, which a lot of people don't. And she seems to be one of those people, because baby girl just left the door open at night. I don't know what that's about, but to each his own. I was like, I'll never. This is why blinds are something, and this is why you lock all the doors. You don't leave doors open, things like that. But she like, there's just a way that she kind of like. She just moves as though like she's fine until she's not, and then now it's like you can see her brain move on. Okay, how can I get out of this? What can I do? Like, you can see the writer in her move, and I like to write as well, and like that's kind of how your brain goes. Like, you kind of either you're dead in the water and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, or it's so much happening that you don't know what to pull and what to do, and you see that even in her movements, where she's like. When she goes to the one room, and she brings like the dresser over, and she's like peeking, and she's making sure like where he's at, but then he comes up there with the body and knocks on the door with the girl's body. And so in her brain, she's like, this is not this is not safe. I can't sit here now, because he kind of knows I'm here now. So now she has to redirect herself back to the living room. Like, okay, where can I? Like, it's just I felt like it was written very, very smart. I felt like her movements were very in line with what I think any person would do. We would use the car to our advantage. We would try to get outside. We would try to run away. Like, we would try to do these things.
Yeah, go reach out the window, look in the friend's pocket, because you saw the friend put her phone in her back pocket.
Right.
Maybe he didn't catch that.
Maybe he didn't catch that. Maybe he didn't, and then that's brave of her to even open a window or a door or anything to try to do, because like, again, she can't hear, so she doesn't know how much noise she's making in doing any of these things, unlocking a lock or opening or cracking a door, or however it is,
running across the
roof, or even running across, trying to get into the woods at least to run. But to me, that's even scarier, because you're out somewhere where you can't hear if he's coming. You have to rely strictly on sight, and there's too many lines of sight for you to even like look on. So like, it was just like throughout the whole film, I was like, how is she going to get out of this? Or is she going to die? Like, what is? And then when she gets shot with the arrow and she's losing blood, and she's like, her vision is going. And then when she has the inner monologue, and she's like, Michael Trucco,
you sit here, you're gonna die. Yeah.
Like, and he's like telling her to run, and she's like, if I run, I'm dead. I can't run on this leg. I can't see. Like, she's going through everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
She's like, and I love that. I love kind of being in the mindset with her, because like you're with her in it. So like, okay,
Yeah.
let's think of these scenarios. Let's think about like, you know, and she even says it in her monologue. She's like, too many endings. It's a lot of endings. Like, she's
Yes,
like,
yes. So the only
Right.
thing I left to do is kill him. I have to kill him.
right, you know, she's like, I have to kill him. Like, I have to, like, because like all the scenarios she thought of, she dies. So if
Yeah.
anything, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take him with me if I'm going to die.
Yeah, the
And
fact that
so-
she like says do it and like is ready for him
Right.
to come in,
And
and she
she's like,
types out
coward.
his tattoo, his
His
height, his
height,
eye
his
color.
eyes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
went out fighting. I
Fighting.
love you all. Like that was so
Exactly.
like
She
you
was-
never see stuff like that.
You
never
don't.
see that.
You don't.
that
It's
thought.
very forward thinking, which is like, I feel like as a writer, you have to think of the future, because that's where
That's
your
how
story
you write
ends.
a book. Yeah, that's yeah.
Right?
You figure out where it's gonna go. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where your story ends. So it's like she was writing the last chapter of her own story in this
Mhm.
moment. So it was just beautiful. It was just kind of like beautiful to watch, because it felt very real. Like, I felt like if I was in a cabin somewhere, or like, I know it's not a cabin, but like in the woods, in
Yeah.
a house, and something like this happened to me, and somebody cut off my everything. I have no internet. I have no nothing. Mind you, I do think I would say my only no phone. I would say my only caveat is, how do you know somebody at your door? Like, most of the time, deaf people have like if somebody rings the bell, a light flashes to let them know that somebody's at the door. Why you ain't got none of that at your doors? Like, I know it works for this film because old girl is at the door banging, and she, you know, she can't, all this kind of stuff. But I was like, girl, it should be a doorbell or something around there, let her know.
Yeah.
Because if my back is turned, how you getting in?
Yeah.
Like, if you can't, but that, to me, that's like a small drop,
little
in, like,
tiny thing. Yeah.
a
And
little
then, like,
tiny
you know,
thing.
for me, if anything, like, she's dropping weapons a little too many times. Like, hold on to
Oh,
the thing
baby
you got.
girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
Dropping hams,
so
dropping,
this is
Yeah.
literally where I had the problems I had. When she gets the crossbow from him and he climbs the lattice the second time, why did you run inside and not kick him in the face? Like, why did you not stab him in the
I feel
eye
like
with one of the
I feel
arrows?
like adrenaline. You just kind of like, because she's afraid. You just
But
kind of
she stopped and waited to do it the first time, so she already tried it and it worked.
But
Why
she didn't stop though.
there?
She didn't stop though.
Yeah,
She got
but I
shot.
mean-
She didn't stop though. She got
The
shot.
second time she goes down, I understand, but when he comes back up, she could have done it again. She could have hurt him again, but she scoots down the door and puts herself back inside, which I think was a
But
really
what if
bad
he's
move.
now expecting her to do that because she already just did it?
Yeah, it's one of the things that really bugged me, and it bugged me both times.
I look at it
The
like
other big one was
she.
when the other guy was there should have been, she should have gotten out of the house and gone and attacked him, so two people were attacking him.
Honestly, I
And
thought
she
that too.
didn't, and that pissed me off. Like, when characters do shit like that, I'm like, what? You're not in flight mode because you've been fighting back this whole time. If you were in flight mode, I understand it, but you're not. You're now in I need to fight back in win mode.
Yeah.
And yet you're standing there hitting the glass and, oh, don't do it. Like, what? Go out. You have 5 doors. You just showed us you have 5 doors you can go out. What are you doing? Go out there and tackle the guy and stab him in the back of the throat. Something like,
No, but see,
I know we don't get the cool ending because of it, then, but just don't write it that way then in the first place. That drives me nuts.
she already kind of says it that like he's stronger than her, he's faster than her, he can win her. Mind you, this is what I figured out, that he was only attacking like women, it seems, because he knows that men for the most part can take him
Because
down.
he's a little dude.
Exactly, because he even said
And he totally admits that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
he
like,
was
I would
like,
have lost that
I
fight.
would have lost that fight. Like,
Had I not stabbed him in the neck.
I would have lost that fight. So like, I do agree that when the guy has him, like, is choking him out for as long as the blood in his body is sitting there,
Allowing him.
I do agree she should have opened the door and came out and stabbed him or something. Like, I do agree. She
Yeah,
should
I
have
get
did something like that. But again, a lot happens. I feel like when you're afraid, you don't rationally think. And I think when she was up top at the lattice and she got shot in the leg, right, and she's down, and then he shoots her, and then she gets up to look, and he shoots her again, and she dips down.
That's that lean. Yeah.
He thought he got her.
Right, she
So
could have used that to her advantage and waited for him to come up and then stabbed him in the throat with one of the arrows that she had.
But she did wait for him to come up, and that's how she got the crossbow in the first place. And she couldn't
Right.
load it And I think her brain was like,
Oh, I know. I don't know.
gotta load it to
You
shoot
got a
him.
pointy thing. Stab the dude with the pointy thing. I don't
You
know.
don't think
That's
about
just
that
me.
though. You just don't think about
I
that.
know.
Let me get back in and like, and if I was her, like, here's my thing about the whole thing too, right? She closed some blinds, but close everything. He shouldn't be able to look inside your house anymore.
Right.
At least
Blind him, right? Because that's the only advantage he has.
Right, at least from some angles, he shouldn't be able.
Yeah.
I understand you got big windows and big doors, but like, why is the blinds in your bathroom still open? Like, close those blinds. Like, I was so annoyed that he was like just watching her in the bathroom. Like, it's really hard to load
hard
that
to do
in.
that.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, girl, shut these blinds. Like, you need to bring, like, that's what I liked about Don't Breathe, is that, like, even though he's a terrible human being, he was like, okay, y'all in my world now. I'm about to have, like, she needed to bring him into her world. And she did towards the end, like, she ended up blinding him. And, like, you know, even she's not blind, but she gave him something where, like,
but the things she did wrong could have saved her freaking hand. Like, she is the reason her hand is all jacked up, because there were a couple of moments where she could have stopped that. She could have. I don't know.
My thing is, once a weapon drops, if you know you're not that fast and he's faster than you, once a weapon drops, let the weapon drop.
Just let it go. Yeah.
The rule is don't throw it down like in The Strangers, where they shoot the guy and then throw the shotgun and walk. I was like, what are you doing to me?
Now she dropped
Terrible.
it. If we call him a spade, she dropped a couple of things throughout the film. So like,
but that happens. That's realistic. Like, that doesn't bother me.
During this time, she was losing blood and vision, so like I kind of understood her dropping the arrow and all that kind of stuff. But just leave it, because your hand got messed up because you went to turn around and
get it in time.
Fast, that. You ain't that fast. And
not worth it.
And it was like he got his comeback because she did the same thing to him and whatever. And so I was just like, I just don't like Janine kind of brought up. I like the tension in this film. I like the fact that I'm like, what's going to happen next? Because when I thought it was over, it wasn't over.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that smile for her at the end, part of me was like, she got the end of her book. Like I didn't really think about her life. I was like, she know how her story will end.
Like Don't Breathe, we get this terrible sequel where the antagonist becomes a protagonist. I think it'd be interesting to do Hush 2, where this screwed her up and she becomes the antagonist. That, to me, sounds more interesting than going the other way.
Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that, because it could be a scene where, like, this has broken her, made her snap to a place where, like, she can't write without this type of excitement anymore.
Yeah, so she's got to, like, go do it to write it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I like that. Well, the smile is what makes me think that. That smile gave me that, wait a minute, she enjoyed this a little bit. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I saw it as her, like, she got her ending for her book, but also it was like, I survived. Yeah. But I would never leave the city ever again. Y'all can't get me to go camping.
Yeah, ain't no country house.
But don't you remember, it's too noisy for her.
You funny.
She said it. I know.
Yeah, that's a joke she made. But yeah, so much great tension. Like, I love the scene in the bathtub where she sat there, she's facing the door, she's expecting that's where he's going to come in. She's already told him to come in. And then just behind her, quietly, the glass, we see the glass coming down. She can't hear it. And then he's there, and he thinks he's got her. He's making, don't breathe, dude. He laughs.
The movies almost should have been done the other way, because Jane Levy needed to hush.
Yeah,
right.
And he needed
to breathe. So
and that little breath, she feels it, and just the way she.
But I love that I love that she could control herself in that moment. I love that it wasn't the thing where, like, the moment she felt the breath, she gave herself away, because she's been through so much that at this moment is like all of that kind of came together for her to be like, oh, he's behind me, and
there's another moment.
Go ahead, girl, flip that knife.
She stabs him in the leg with a knife. He drops his knife. Why didn't she pick up his knife? And stab him with it.
Yes. So those were moments like that where I fault the movie slightly, because she's dropping things. There are choices she could have made.
Knife drop. She won't hear it, but did she see his knife drop? And that's the thing you gotta like kind of.
That's a fair point, because she was facing the other way.
Yeah,
she has a fair point. I saw it, and I'm presuming that she saw it. So that's fair.
Gotta give
that's the thing. Like, as an audience member, we see things all the time that characters don't see,
Yeah.
and you know, I try not to hold those things against the character because that's not
Yeah.
fair.
No, absolutely.
So that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
But
I'll take that.
I think that's what makes this even more kind of like harrowing, even more kind of like interesting, is that like if the guy has moments where he messes up and we can see it, but she doesn't see it, it doesn't matter because she can't hear the thing. She can't hear anything that drops her. Everything has to be in her line of sight, and
Right.
that's
For her to
even
know
more
that it's
frightening.
Yeah.
Right, and that's even more frightening that she has to
Well,
be able to see it.
That means
do it.
you're blind from here back, right?
Yeah.
Like from here back, you're blind because if you could hear, you literally have to. I don't know. It's kind of like the creature in the woods that always feels like you're getting followed by. You know?
And I think
feel like that all the time.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I can give her a little bit of slack in things because, like me and Law kind of talked about, her, you know, really doing a good job of showing that, yes, and showing that fear in situations. Like, you really felt like she was somebody who, you know, is frozen by fear in a lot of aspects happening in the situation, and it's taking her a while to acclimate to what is happening and what she has to do next. So if she does have a messy moment where she makes a mistake, you know, in most movies where it would feel like that person's an idiot, with her, you can kind of give her some grace because you're really feeling her performance of her, like,
her not really
caught up in that chaos happening and having that added element of, you know, no hearing to kind of affect what she's doing and how she's reacting to things. So
totally a fair point. I think another aspect here is one of those hype moments where I heard nothing but good things about this movie forever. Like everybody talked about it forever. And so when I went in, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like the best horror movie I've ever seen. And I'm just like, oh, it's interesting. They're cool moments, but it didn't give me a Poltergeist kind of, you know, like, holy shit, that's like, you know, epic level. Not that it's not good. I do think it's good.
And this is just something in the genre I've never seen before when I saw it. So I really commended for taking the very familiar genre with familiar beats and really putting an interesting twist on it, giving yourself really creative and interesting problems to have to solve with your character. So
I like that. I love that I look like a storyboard almost with the way I'm glitching. This is fantastic. So I can do all weird hand signals, right? And just like,
she's a final girl I can get behind because I love that she adapts and she learns and she, you know, like me and Janine write. So like as writers, we can see the wheels turn. We can you know, vibe with her on that. And I like the fact that like she eventually resigns to her fate, right? And like sometimes, cause like she got a busted hand, she got a busted leg.
And she's still out here antagonizing him, writing, you know,
writing stuff on like doing.
I personally,
you know, in her own.
Howard was great. I would have written Pussy personally. I think that's what I would have written. Just because I think it would have made him more angry. I don't know.
No, I mean, he was so angry because he couldn't even break through the window. So
I know. Being called a coward when you feel, because he already obviously feels like a coward because he's a little man. He has to kill women. He knew he couldn't take out the dude. Which, by the way, did we even bring up his name?
Michael Trucco?
Yes, I absolutely love Trucco.
I love him as an actor. Yeah.
I loved him in both How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory. I think he was fantastic in both of those. Yeah. And he's more nuanced than his characters give him credit. Like, he comes off like a meathead, right?
Yeah, they always make him play like little dumb, little meatheady type of.
Right. Although in Big Bang Theory, he plays a physicist, so he's still kind of a turd, but he's a physicist. So, yeah. But in this, I liked there was nuance, there was subtlety in his expressions, and like you could tell he was really suspect of the guy, and especially like if some guy told me he was a cop and I saw a snake tattoo on his neck, I'd be like, no, you aren't.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But if somebody told me that you was a cop and you got a call in, why you in civilian clothes?
Well, and why are you wearing a shitty hoodie? Like, what are you?
Yeah, he's trying to blind him a little bit with that light and confuse him. Yeah.
At first, the first 60 seconds, 30 seconds, I can see being confused by it.
Yeah.
But after that,
but as an actor, you could see on his face that he was also like a little trepidatious about it, which is why he was asking questions.
Sure.
Like, wait a second. But I'm sorry, the moment you saw your girl's earring come out of his pocket.
Yeah, you should have thrown an elbow.
That should have been a wrap. You should have immediately choked him out and punched him in the face or something like that. Like immediately.
Yeah.
A strong dude to lose like 8 pints of blood and still choke somebody out. That's
And like get up,
pretty
move
impressive.
down for a minute,
Yeah.
and then
You
sprung
get
up.
up.
And like he
yeah.
was gushing like all over the ground. Like
Yeah, that was
And then
I hate when they
then
do
for
that.
him,
Like,
and then for him to go, John Gallagher Jr. for him to go, shh, it's almost over. Like I was like,
that
oh,
was
I
hardcore.
was like, he's got
Especially since he knows, like you can
Yeah.
feel he's bleeding to death. Like,
Yeah.
so many killing moments. That mask was terrifying, and then when he takes it off, when she says, "I haven't seen your face, you can go," and so
why didn't she close her eyes and run? Again, another one of those little moments. She could have closed her eyes.
But he was coming in there anyway, and he said,
I know.
He's like, "I'm gonna come
And
in."
we already know he could have killed her the moment he walked into the house. He
Yeah,
could have
and he
walked
said,
up behind her and killed her, and he didn't
But
do
he's
that.
like, "I'm
so.
gonna kill you when you're ready to die," because like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But also, I like the
And
fact
she was
that
obviously never ready.
I like that we don't get any background on him.
No,
like
he's
that-
just the man.
like that-
He's credited as the man. Yeah.
He's just like
He just
a
happened to already
psychopath.
be at another house committing murders.
Right.
Like just happened by.
He's just a psychopath that's like going around killing people. And I like that we don't get no background. I like that we don't get anything to make us feel sympathetic for him, that he came from a bad home and this is why he kills, because he was abused as a child. Like, no, he's just a crazy person that just stumbled. Because I wonder if he would have killed the friend, would he have made his way over here?
Yeah, and I feel like he just found her on her way home. I don't think he went to her house and stopped and tried to spot her. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
This was happenstance, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like that. I like we don't know anything about him. I love that there was like reports show that I don't want any of that. It's just a crazy
it's for somebody who likes the game of this of attacking, hurting people. Yeah.
Right, because you had a crossbow on you. You was coming out here to shoot something or somebody. You was coming out here to
We should have named this episode Cat and Mouse, because both of these movies are 100% cat and mouse.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe going forward we can start naming the episodes, not the titles of the movies, but
just like caption them with.
Oh no, you should read what our amazing producer Aina does. She's already named this episode. What did she name this episode? Maybe she'll tell us in my ear.
Not in your ear, y'all fancy.
Quiet horror. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, you can see it when we start. She'll put it up on YouTube.
Terror in the Quiet. Hush
Terror. Yeah, there you go. But we don't need to rename it Cat and Mouse. You can leave it. I just thought it was interesting that we can always pull a trope, or we can pull a concept of story from our pairings, and our pairings tend to work out really, really well for the same reason. Because movies are very similar. Like these two movies are very similar in a lot of aspects. They're both about home break-ins. They're both about an antagonist trying to find, or a protagonist trying to find a new way forward, whether that be with her sister or with her book. Like still the same idea. Anyway. I think we should rate this, and we should talk about next week, and Brian will be back, of course, but let's go in the same order. I guess I technically sort of went first, so I'll rate it. I don't feel I can give this less than an 8, actually, which is weird, because I think I would have given it a 6 before, but it jumped up. So, yeah. Janine, what do you rate?
I mean, I love this movie. I think it's so smart. Flanagan has not missed for me. I've loved pretty much everything he's done that I've seen. So I give this movie a 9.
9, okay. La?
I enjoyed this. I give it an 8.5. Okay. It's close to being a 9 for me, but I don't know. I don't know what it's missing. I couldn't tell you what it was missing, but it's an 8.5 for me.
It's missing 1.5 is what it's missing. That said, so next week, like I said, we're going to be doing Weapons, which I've heard a lot of weird things about, and then of course Bring Her Back, which is supposed to be the goriest movie of the year, at least mainstream, because I'm sure there's some indies out there that are grosser, but hey, whatever. And we will have Brian back, so those were his picks. We'll see what he has to say about those. Prepare yourself, La. Bring Her Back is brutal from what I've heard, and it's all food related. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so none of us have seen it. Only Brian.
I haven't seen any of these films. I haven't seen Weapons, even though I just I've never seen Weapons.
I haven't seen Weapons either yet. So
I just recently purchased.
I didn't realize that.
Shout out to Fandango. They gave me the 4K for $11.99. It was a special offer. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll take it.
Right.
I was like, say less. So I've never seen Weapons or Bring Her Back. So watch it during the day.
Yeah, I'll be watching Bring Her Back during the day, so I can maybe like watch.
And I need to hear Aina's appraisal of her watch. I'm very proud of you, Aina, for watching it.
Yeah, she watched Weapons. Our producer does not watch horror movies really unless it's like
No.
tame enough to handle. Even like
No.
The Frighteners. Did you watch The Frighteners? I don't think you did. Anyway, the fact that you watch Weapons, I was shocked when I heard that. I was genuinely.
If Aina watching Weapons, she could absolutely watch Frighteners if she didn't watch Frighteners.
Agreed. Even The Exorcist, like from what I've heard, Weapons is not mild by any stretch.
And I do, again, I'm always talking about this kill count because I love it. But like, that's also a great way to watch horror movies that maybe you're too afraid to watch. So you can just watch it through the kill count. Yes, because it goes through the whole plot. You get fun facts about the movie. Talk about like all the things that kind of went into it. And so it's generally like, a vibe of watching a film that you're never going to watch. Like if you're never going to watch a film, I'd recommend watching the kill count of it.
Is it like, did they do like Ichi the Killer and other things that I would never watch on there? Or is it like really hardcore stuff? Or is it just more mainstream?
It's a lot of mainstream because that's kind of what his fans like, but he loves doing like weird stuff like Puppet Master and Wishmaster and he loves Basket Case. He loves movies. He loves to do movies like that, but he knows they don't get a lot of views. So sometimes
right.
And do it anyway.
We're the same way. These two movies are not going to get nearly the views that say Sinners or Superman is going to get because it's just not as popular. And if you look at like whenever I look up the movies, I'll always notice when we do like the hashtags, you can always tell, like put in Jane Levy, there's like 3,000 hashtags. But if you put in Ryan Coogler, there's like 50,000 hashtags. So like, you can kind of tell the difference when doing the promos and stuff.
Yeah, I would also suggest like if there's ever a scary movie that you like afraid to watch or don't want to watch, however it is, watch a reaction to it because they have to cut it in a certain way that it's like non-copyright rated for YouTube or whatever, and that way you can still get the like they still edit it in a way that you get the context of the film. You don't
like
I'm a stuff.
Yeah, I'm a friend of Real Rejects, so I watch a lot of their
I know I'm so jealous.
Their watch-throughs and their watch-alongs, and so watching it along with them is kind of a fun process. If you know it's something you're not going to watch or you can watch on your own, I would definitely say watch a reaction channel like Real Rejects or watch the kill count of it.
Or like
or Lala. Lala also does reactions sometimes.
I'm working on it. It's kind of tough, you guys.
Right. So that means this has been episode 6 of season 5 of The Real Study. We do appreciate you guys stopping by, and we will have one more horror episode after Halloween because why not? We're going to just keep it going, and we will see you guys
I would
then.
say make sure you join us in November for like we get our personal like nostalgia. I believe that's when we're doing those in November. So make sure November is a special month. So make sure you guys tune in November. So
Absolutely, I agree, and follow us everywhere. You guys have a great evening.